right, welcome back to the channel. Let me say what's up to everybody in the building. Adrian Vent in the building. What's going on, man? Stronghold 301. Donnell Warden. Dog, listen to the video before you complain about shit, please. I don't believe that he's ducking. People are saying that he's ducking, so we're gonna have the discussion, man. There's a difference. So it's not. Anything that I add, any title I put up there is baiting you to click on it. I want you to click on the video for sure. What do you want me to do? Just put an empty title there or nothing there? Come on, man. You complaining about some shit. You ain't even heard nobody say anything about it yet. Okay. However, I assure you that I've gotten a bunch of comments saying that Jermell Charlo was ducking the rematch because he doesn't sound committal. He sounds non-committal to it. And I just wanted to have the discussion this morning, man. Next time, take your time and listen to what people say before you complain about shit, man. That's quite obnoxious, man. I don't think he is ducking. I believe that he doesn't have any choice but to take the fight. Much love in that super chat to my man, Smooth Guru Boxing said, what does understand doesn't have to be explained. One love from Oak Cliff. That's what's up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Let me say what's up to everybody. We'll get into conversation. Antoine Johnson, what's going on? Viva Tu Vida in the building. What's happening? He said, good morning, Martin. We're ready for this boxing conversation. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your contributions for the sport that we love so much. You are the best in the business. Thank you very much, man. And it's me telling Donnell again, how about you listen to what is actually said before you complain about the shit? That puts you in the, I think you might be a troll. If you jump out here and the first thing you do is complain about a title, it's got a damn question mark in there. You know, I know the educational system in America sucks, but I know damn well everybody knows what a damn question mark is. If you don't know what a question mark was, you wouldn't have been able to write the sentence that you wrote, man. It's a question mark. It's asking the question. No, you don't think that he did. Thank you for the answer. Supernova son said, nah, he's going to run it back. No one is saying how many punches Charlo's blocked. That's crazy. You know what? That really is a defensive thing. But look, there is no credit. Here's the thing. Zahai said, what's up for now, Fannon? Is Charlo running a Nicorette's ad now? Nah. Dog, he has no choice, Antonio Johnson. He has no choice to make that fight. There's nowhere else for him to go. Who's he going to fight? I mean, seriously, pretty much he had already cleared out the 154-pound division already cleared itself out. So there's no other fight for Jermall Charlo to have other than Brian Castano. Because anything else, who do you think Showtime's going to take another fight? Steven Espinoza be like, nah. Look, the only fight we paying for is Brian Castano. And I'm sure the same thing would be said by Fox. If Fox is like, I'm not putting Aaron in a fight with Jermell Charlo that doesn't include Brian Castano, that's a undisputed. That fight is, that's two bites at an apple. They gotta love that shit because the second fight is gonna be a bigger sell than the first half. So I don't see it. But I will tell you, shout out to my man Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk and More, who is definitely a very, very careful reader. What I will say, though, is that his tone, that Jermell Charlo's tone, doesn't sound the most anxious, man. It was like, when we have that fight. When you say, when we have that fight, I think what people are wanting to hear is, yeah, let's run this back. I want to run this back, kind of like Deontay Wilder did. Deontay Wilder wanted to run back that Tyson Fury draw right away. And, you know, I can't say that I've heard that type of urgency out of Jermell Charlo about it, but it may just be that he's trying to get his head around the fight, you know, and not necessarily say what he's going to do right away. You know, he could be being kind of circumspect about it. Kenny Peep said, oh, half these dudes hate Mel. You know he going to run it back. Oh, half these dudes hate Jermell. I would say some shit around 80% hate Jermell. Because Jermell talk a lot of shit, man. You know, I mean, just for real, Jermell talks a lot of shit, and Jermell got a funky-ass attitude. So, you know, hey, man, his fan base, like he said, not everybody likes his personality. He's got that really confrontational and froggy ass personality. And look, when you don't cross the finish line first, and it's a draw, people are going to be looking for shit to say. What's going on, Southern T Boxing? What's going on? He said that's the feeling I got too. That he just didn't seem like he was really amped up about it. Nah, he doesn't. Oh, why? Oh, so why am I explaining the dude? Because that's some of the funnest thing about my channel. I love explaining shit to trolls. No, or I'm not saying the dude is a troll, but I love explaining shit. I do that shit to everybody. Salute Fannon, and salute to the moderators. Salute to the good people in the chat. Burn, trolls, burn. Yeah, they're going to start slapping you guys around pretty soon. Johnny Player, Charlo was one of the only fighters that fights anyone. Trust me, he wants all that smoke. Now, that is true. Jermell Charlo has fought, I'm sorry. Yeah, Copper Aborigines, man, say, yeah, well, it's going to have people that are going to take me the wrong way. But it doesn't sound like he's that, like he's really that amped up for the fight. But I just think that it may be because he's feeling, like he didn't do as well as he wanted to do. Now, I will tell you something that did look to me. I hadn't said this about Jermell Charlo before. I think Jermell's going to do a lot better in the second fight because he's not going to choke. I think there might have been a little bit of choking in that fight with Jermell because he couldn't figure out because Brian Castano really didn't do anything. He didn't do anything in the middle of the ring. So Jermell Charlo was looking for shots to counter, but he never got a chance to really counter because the only time that Brian Castano was going to let his hands go is when he was up against the ropes. And other than that, he really didn't ever let his hands go. Oh, I know this is boxing, but congratulations to the new NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks, man. You Lord. Smooth. Oh, clap away. Yeah, congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks, man. I tell you, basketball is just. I knew that the final game was on for the finals yesterday. I actually saw it up on my TV, and I was like, I don't even feel like watching it. That's how far basketball has fallen for me. The NBA with all of this, everything being a three-point shot or a layup, is just so tiring, man. Seriously, I get tired of seeing people launch up three-point shots. It's like, here comes another three. Here comes another three. Here comes another three. They don't run play. It makes me miss. It almost makes me miss the Utah Jazz when they would run their sets and stuff. So because you see what they'd have to do to try to set up a shot. Now it's all free throws. It's all layups, free throws, and three-point shots. But congratulations to the Bucks. He said he beat everyone in the top 10, not named Brian. Yeah, he did. Oh, did he? There you go. He's going to fight. I'm not saying that he's scared to fight someone, and he said he wanted to run it back. It's just whether or not you want to run it back right away. And I guess, he did parse words a little bit in that prepared statement that he made. Never seen a draw, never seen an outrage, seen so much outrage over a draw. Oh, I have. The Canelo Alvarez Gennady Golovkin draw. When they thought they had when Canelo Alvarez was got treated like the honorary black dude against Gennady Golovkin. You remember that scenario when Abel Sanchez was insulting him, saying you don't fight like a Mexican fighter, and Gennady Golovkin said you don't fight like a Mexican fighter, as if Gennady Golovkin was going to steal the Mexican fan base from Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez fights too slick. But hey, I'm going to tell you what, Canelo Alvarez changed his style after that and went more to plotting right behind somebody and beating them up that way. But the outrage over the scorecard for Adelaide Bird's scorecard for Canelo, man, that was a big old deal, man. And you had a whole bunch of people crying, thinking that Canelo Alvarez lost. Now, it's amazing that somebody that thought, a whole bunch of people thought that Canelo Alvarez lost both of those Gennady Golovkin fights. But as soon as he gets away from Gennady Golovkin, the boxing media gets, they catch amnesia and all of a sudden act like Canelo Alvarez is somebody that nobody ever thinks lost a fight and is the best fighter. He's hands down best in the world. He's better than, he can go all the way up to heavyweight and win at heavyweight, even though they said light cruiserweight. I'm like, really? Then why aren't you calling for him to fight Gennady Golovkin? Well, I mean, why did you complain so much about the Gennady Golovkin fight if Canelo Alvarez is this undefeatable machine? You put Tyson, what is this? Ghost Brother Bomb Squad. Yeah, you put Tyson Scary on the run, Tyson Fury. What is he talking about with that? Antoine Johnson, that's the reason I asked the question. Because he did. Antoine Johnson. Is that for me? You have to, I guess, put Fannon if the statements are for me, because I definitely want to read comments in the comments section. But you got to put Fannon in there so I know for sure that it's for me and I don't wind up reading. Here you go. Fannon, when he lost to Tony Harrison, he ran it back. So I don't think he won't run it back this time. He sounded a little bit hesitant, but that was right after 12 hard rounds. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. That's fair to say, and people ain't trying to hear it because, a whole bunch of people thought he got over on something. I don't understand why people think that there was some gift draw or something. Brian Castano didn't do anything in the center of the ring. Like, seriously, he didn't do anything in the center of the ring except for stand behind a high guard and walk forward while Jermell Charlo was throwing punches at him. You have to know that if somebody's throwing punches at you, those punches might be scoring. And I don't think people count enough how many times Brian Castano got jabbed and how many straight rights or shots to the body he took in the middle of the ring when he wasn't fighting in the middle of the ring. And that's the problem with Brian. That's why Brian Castano, let's look for a second or talk about a second about what Brian Castano didn't do in that fight. Brian Castano didn't do anything in the center of the ring. And he just had his in the middle of the ring, he had his hands like this and was just getting jabbed for large portions of the round. That's why I think there was that 117-111 scorecard, because the judge was giving Jermell Charlo credit for the jabs that he was throwing when Brian Castano was just sitting there with his hands up. And Brian Castano would try to do that trick where you try to win the last 20 seconds of the round. What's his name? Derek James said the same thing. He was like, Brian Castano was just trying to win the last 20 seconds of the round. He would throw punches like a flurry of punches when you get up against the ropes. And some judges know that trick, and they're not going to reward you for that trick, dude. You're supposed to be fighting 3 minutes of a round, not 20 seconds, a good 20 seconds in the middle somewhere and a good 20 seconds at the end. Dude, that's 40 seconds of the round that you were active. That means that there was another 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the round where Brian Castano didn't do anything. He was just being inactive. And his inactivity in the center of the ring is what cost him that score. I'm sure is what cost him that fight. If he would have opened up more, then maybe he would have been able to, pull out some rounds. But you know what he was trying to do? He was trying to keep himself from getting hit. And also, sometimes when you ding somebody and really hurt them, you lose the next round. In the last two times, was it twice or 3 times? I think it was 3 times that Jermell Charlo really hurt Brian Castano. That Brian Castano just went up a bit against the ropes, and then he came out the next round and he didn't do anything in the next round, right? Up until maybe, like I said, 20 seconds for a 20-second spurt in the last end of the round up against the ropes. A lot of people ain't gonna do that, man. King Beef said Jermell was anxious to get the rematch with Harrison, but he doesn't seem that anxious about the Castano rematch. Because a lot of people are talking shit. I could see why he may be doing that. because he feels like he had to apologize, right? He felt like he had to apologize for his performance in the fight. I personally think he knows that he choked, because in the middle of the ring, when Brian Castano wasn't throwing punches, he should have been letting off with his punches. He should have been going to the body, listening to his trainer. Doesn't matter who he fought and beat. He couldn't pull it off after. Man, stop that bullshit. Brian Castano was talking dumb shit, and he didn't pull it off either. What are you talking about? The same logic goes for Brian Castano. Brian Castano was talking big shit. And about how he was going to make Jermell Charlo suffer and all kinds of, man, get the fuck out of here. What happened to him? You think like Brian Castano wasn't saying anything? Both fighters is talking shit, selling the fight. Man, I don't like that shit where you try to hold somebody responsible for talking shit ahead of a fight. What was he supposed to do? Sit there like this and bore you to death? He's supposed to sell the fight, which, by the way, he did sell the fight, because they had a peak of 600,000 people watch that fight on Showtime. That was very, very good ratings. And it was an exciting fight to boot. But Bomb Squad, I got to do that one. Fannon, when he lost, oh no, I did that one. Jermell was anxious to get the rematch, but he doesn't seem that anxious. Okay, I got that one. Bullshit. He won that fight. He got a draw, and honestly, he's good. He's fortunate to get that draw, because the way he ran around and stumbled, they could have given a couple of those knockdowns 10-8 rounds. Because you're stumbling all over the ring. Guess what? He did not win. He got a draw, and he gets to run it back. And he had made him suffer from what? Suffer from a paycheck and high ratings? Jermell Charlo got no damages inflicted on Jermell Charlo by Brian Castano. You know what I'm saying? Man, he gave Mel that work against the Rube. Do that enough D to wait until the late rounds and fire at the end of rounds. Mel didn't want to bang. Look, I don't see how he gave him that much work. I saw that was a bunch of some punches got through on the ropes when you throw 30 punches up against the ropes, but I think that was more showboating than anything else. He got up against the ropes and he let his hands go. The crowd started screaming, but the vast majority of those punches were caught either on his shoulders or whatever. I don't think he did that much. Now, I will say the same thing. I don't think that Jermell Charlo did that much to Brian Castano either. But don't get confused. Like, he deserved that draw. Let's put it this way. If he would have done it, he would have got that draw. Domingo say bye-bye. The fuck up out of here, Domingo. Crying like that, man. Your boy got a draw. And your boy got a draw, sit on that draw, and hope he can come back and get a win. I don't got nothing against Brian Castano, and you can say whatever you want to say. I'm still telling you this. I don't think exactly. We're yes man. Yes, they'll throw your ass out. He said, Kitty Peep said, he said we yes man, as in yes, they will throw you the fuck up out of here, dog. I guarantee you got thrown out of here before I did. No, he didn't. He's a draw. You're tripping. Seriously. It was a draw. Hey, can somebody put in the comment section what the outcome of the fight was? Because I could have sworn I heard that referee say split decision draw. I could have sworn I heard that. Did I hear that? Did I hear that? I know that I heard that. I'm positive that Jermell Charlo got to keep all of his belts. Dog, that shit was a draw, and a draw was a good call. It was a split draw. There you go. You don't get to rewrite history, man. I'm sorry. It's just tough. I don't even do that with Deontay Wilder in that first fight, even though I think that the referee let Tyson Fury off the hook by letting him get back up after he laid like this on his back with his eyes closed, right? That's when somebody does that, you're so wave it off. Nah, sorry, son. You didn't break your fall. You hit your That's what it's supposed to be because you're unconscious. But hey, what's his name? Jack Reese decided for the good of boxing, he wasn't going to follow that rule because, he thinks it's good for boxing that Tyson Fury, who he probably thought was up on the card. No, I guess he said he thinks Deontay Wilder won the fight. However, I think that's a little bit of face saving. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a little bit of face saving, really. Yeah, mighty convenient that the guy that lets Tyson Fury get up from getting laid out thinks Deontay Wilder won the fight. Okay, sure you did. What's going on, man? Antoine Johnson said it was a draw. I still think Castano edged it out, but I'm not mad at the outcome. I think it deserves to be ran back. Win or loss, it was a close fight. Exactly. And that's my thing. It's a close fight. What's going on, Rick Blackwell? What's going on to you, Mr. Blackwell? Judah been Israel. He said, Jack Reese said he thought Wilder still won. Look, man, that's what you call saving face, in my opinion, because he should have. Salute Barrister Blackwell. What's going on, man? Anyway, you get my point. Antoine Flowers Sr. said, exactly, Mel would box the whole round and then try and bang at the end, and he got the worst of the standoff whenever he tried to knock him out, and that's why the corner was telling him he's losing for real, for real. I think he said, the corner said you need a knockout to win. And on the real, he was losing the fight because he got the last four rounds on every scorecard. That's why I think that's another reason why I'm like, man, I don't get why people are tripping like that. Brian Castano lost the last 4 rounds on every judge's scorecard. You think that you're going to be able to lose the last 4 rounds on every judge's scorecard and that fight's not close? That fight was definitely close. He lost the fight on every scorecard I believe for the last 4 rounds. That right there makes it 8 rounds to 4. All you need is to have a judge give you two more judges give you 2 more rounds, and you have a draw. And you cannot tell me that you guys realistically believe that Jermell Charlo lost the first 8 rounds. If you guys say that you think Jermell Charlo lost the first 8 rounds, please go back to the second round and remember when Brian Castano got hurt in that round. So that's 5 rounds for sure that he got on all judges' scorecards. 5 rounds. All he needs is on one more scorecard. He needs 2 rounds on 2 scorecards. You think that Brian Castano was winning every one of those rounds that cleanly? I mean, I could have sworn by the reaction that I'm getting that Brian Castano was knocking down Jermall Charlo. Now, if you want to give it to, I can appreciate Judah Ben Israel, what he said. He said, I think Jermell still edged him 114, 113, very close, but I'm not that mad at the draw. BFTB, what's going on to the great BFTB? Broke this fight down exactly how I was thinking. 114, 113, I could give it 114. I didn't score the fight, but I could give it to 114, 113. But I know for me, I gave 5 of the last 6 rounds, I think, went to Jermell Charlo. 5 of the last 6 rounds. And the second round went to Jermell Charlo. For me, right there, that's a draw. Unless you're giving a 10-8 round somewhere to Brian Castano, which is Brian Castano did not hurt. Oh, he did. He hurt him once. He hurt him once in the 3rd round. But that's why I say he got the 1st and the 3rd round. You are crazy. True. You just want Charlotte, that's not funny, to have won that fight. That's not true because I'm saying I think it was a draw. That's all you can admit. He got his ass whooped. He didn't get his ass whooped. It was a draw. He never got dropped. He never got hurt. Brian Castano may have scored more points. He ain't as bad as you think. How bad do I think he is? I never said anything about him being bad. And oh, that's just your opinion. That dumb shit you just said is your opinion. Jose, man, will you trolls get smarter? I mean, for real, like, think about what you're going to say before you say that shit. Every line in that shit is bullshit. Except for the fact that I'm crazy, without a doubt. Zipped. That's cool. It's what I live with it. And you just want Charlo to have won. No, again, I don't want him to have won because the fight is already over. Why would I want him to have won? I'm telling you, I would take the draw. Quite honestly, I would have given it to, if Castano won by a round, I wouldn't have been upset if Castano did win. Castano could have done, I can see how people could say that Castano won that fight. I don't see how people would have said that Jermell won the fight. I'll say that because Jermell Charlo had to do a lot of, he had to get back in the fight. And I knew that I was like, damn, dude, you're going to have to win. Like, you're going to have to win out the second half of the fight. And pretty much he did it. So there you go. And that's why you get a draw and you get to see the next fight. But all that shit that you just said is horse shit, man. You guys got to stop. Now, you know what's funny? I have a suspicion that you Latino dudes are coming in here are fanboys. That's what I think you are. I think you're a fanboy, that you're really not that into boxing, and you're just kind of like, oh, the Latino guy won. That's what I think some of you guys are doing. Because you guys are damn sure accusing me of doing that shit with Jermell Charlo. So let me throw the accusation the other way. Please stop coming with this corny shit if you don't watch boxing. Because you clearly don't watch boxing. And you're just up in here trying to find an argument and something to say. He's speaking present past tense. Keith James. That's just hilarious. He said he's speaking present past tense. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Sick. Look, dude, that's what you guys are on. And since you're on it, be on that shit. But take that shit somewhere else, dog. Because there's no way that you watch that fight talking like you actually watch and pay attention to boxing, man. That's what I think with these particular guys. By and large, though, I don't think that that's something that's prevalent in the sport of boxing. However, hey, there are black guys that want the black guy to win. And hey, guess what? There's nothing wrong with that if you do. If you're a Latino dude that wants a Latino guy to win, hey, that's what you're supposed to do. Good job. More power to you. Rep your people. However, stop bumbling your lips at me with some bunch of cornball shit that I'm going to brush off to the side like really, because I read comments, homie. Your comments going to get read, and I don't respond to your cornball-ass statements emotionally. I will literally read it. BB. See, we'll do it this way. Castano got robbed as it was in Texas. How is that? Oh, you know what? This Charlotte shit is not, will you stop with the Charlotte shit? That shit is not funny. Charlotte, it's not funny, dude. That shit is not, I mean, grow the fuck up. How old are you? Call a man by his name. Castano got robbed. It was in Texas. Charlo didn't get no 117. What do you mean he didn't get it? Yes, he did get 117. The shit's on the scorecards. If you wouldn't have got it, you wouldn't be complaining about it. Absolutely he did. He was terrified of Little Castano. Terrified of him. Little, they're in the same fucking weight class. What are you talking about? They're both 154 pounds. Did you not see the chin? Did you not see the chin on Brian Castano? Brian Castano is short. Brian Castano, garbage. I expect more out of trolls, man. No, I'm telling you, it is not autocorrect. They keep doing that shit. That is not the first. They've called this man Charlotte several times. The Charlotte thing is autocorrect mistake. No, it is not. I have seen too many. Let me see something. Charlo. Let me see if that wound up there. Did my Charlo wind up in there? Yeah. Charlo. Hey. Jose Gonzalez. No. What do you want me to do? I love trolls. Trolls make my day. I got to admit it. I really do think that it was a fair fight and that the best man won. And yes, absolutely, I will agree with any moron that says that Charlo was got a gift decision, even though he didn't get one. What the fuck are you talking about? Don't be so emotional. That's why people listen to me speak, because I'm emotional. You're supposed to be emotional when you're trying to connect with people. Seems like people can get Charlo into the comment section without it turning into Charlotte. That is little kitty shit, dude. Nobody thinks that shit is fun. It's not funny. If somebody does think it's funny, they're a little kid. Oh, I'm just saying because I noticed Charlotte in many Latino channels. Yes, it's called an insult. They're calling him Charlotte to insult him. They're trying to call him a girl, and they're not very good. They're not very good at making insults. How about you call him a bitch? That shit would be it. That bitch. It works way better. That bitch. That if you call him that, then you're going to be getting somewhere. Okay? You can say, that bitch didn't deserve a sit. That bitch, that right there, that gives a lot of emotion to it. That works. If you just call him that Charlo bitch, that Charlo, something like that. Zach Rivers said, I believe that Charlo won 114, 113. That's fair, man. That's fair. I think that's fair. All right, you're getting thrown out for calling me Bud. All right, I'm going to tell you right now. You get thrown out for calling me Bud, okay? I'm not your fucking buddy. Bye. Do not call me buddy that's talking down to me. Don't do it. You get going. And you'll come back, too. Because you know what I know? When you mistreat trolls, they can't resist it. They gotta get that get back from you. So every time I throw you trolls out, trust me, I know I'm generating at least three more troll accounts to come back over here. Yeah, bye, buddy. Don't call me buddy. Buddy is hey, for me, I'm telling you right now, if you call me buddy, that shit sounds to me like you're, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How you doing, buddy? Like you're doing that shit to me. Nigga, you ain't my motherfucking Don. Nigga, what is this shit? Don't call me buddy. Get the fuck out of here, dog. Oh, it's like a subscriber generating, Asante L, it's like a subscriber generating ploy. Anytime they do it, throw their ass out, trust me, they're going to be back. Because they're fragile ego, dog. Rashad Jones, where's Rashad? Fannon, the GOAT, thank you, sir. What's the next best fight? Spence versus Pac-Man, that is the next big fight. Oh, and I hear that they're talking about a rematch between Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. I am happy to see that one. I got to tell you, I certainly hope that Teofimo Lopez shit starting ass winds up having to fight Vasily Lomachenko again because he's going to get his ass beat. Let me hear. You hear me? My Latino brothers, I'm going to tell y'all. I'm claiming that shit every time. Look, seriously, I'm black though. Yeah. Teofimo Lopez is going to get his ass fucked up by Vasily Lomachenko if they fight again. I'm telling you. Lomachenko is going to fuck that dude up. This will be the hardest that I have. Oh, who gets the IBF? Somebody that's fair. Somebody Kambosos would fight for it. And man, probably Kambosos and somebody I ain't never heard of, I would suspect. Hold on a second. The IBF is the truth. The IBF is the truth. IBF lightweight rankings. I'm telling you, they're the truth. They don't play the games, man. That the WBO, the WBO, the WBA, and the WBC play. All right, so let's see. Gonzalez. Oh, could be Lomachenko. Lomachenko could fight Kambosos for it. Because Lomachenko's in the top 5 on the IBF, but you got Lee Selby, somebody named Lemos. You have Gonzalez. What's Gonzalez's first name? Isaac Gonzalez. How is he ranked that high? I have no clue. He's 15-1-1. Yeah, Isaac Gonzalez and Kambosos look like they would be the favorites to get to fight if they stretch that belt. Because the IBF, no, he's talking about trying to get the IBF to push up the fight. But I don't think that they're going to do it because that would be unfair to Triller. Triller, what man? Teofimo Lopez, man, made a bad move dumb for some reason. When he canceled the fight with Kambosos 5 days or whatever, it's like a week before the fight, Triller had already spent a ton of money promoting that fight and all the expenses associated with it. So they lost a lot of money. And what they're trying to do is go to Pitbull Gonzalez. Thank you very much. I haven't seen Pitbull fight. But yeah, that's who they're referring to when they talk about Pitbull. Pitbull is Pitbull Gonzalez. Nah, Haney versus Kambosos, nah, because that's a WB, because he's not in the rankings. Anthony Reiser, he's not in the rankings for the IBF. It would probably be like, yeah, Pitbull Gonzalez and George Kambosos for the IBF title. But Teofimo Lopez is trying to fuck over Triller. Like, if you need to just go ahead, look, man, this is my take on it. My man, Advanced Intellectual says someone has to recompensate or has to compensate Triller. Look, my thing is, you signed for the fight. You pulled out of the fight. It costs a lot of people money. So now, why don't you work with them so that they can make money, you can make money, Kambosos can make money, and everybody can make money. And then after that fight's over, you go on about your business. But the problem with it, the reason why it has to go to Australia is because of the costs associated with Teofimo Lopez pulling out of the fight. That's just bad business. Blacks and Latinos are the same. Look it up. Dude, I talk about that shit at length. I've talked about it at length. I understand full well that there ain't no biological difference between me and a Latino. Now, in the Western Hemisphere, very little biological difference between me or any other black American really, and Latinos. We're all descendants of Europeans, Africans, and the people that were indigenous to the land. We're all some combination of it, and we battle and we. No, is he? Boots is going up to 160 next for a stay busy fight. Well, he's going to stay at 160 then, because I don't see how he's going to be able to come back down. But let me come back up a little bit. You guys are hitting some nice conversations right now. But yes, I understand that. I understand that blacks and Latinos are basically the same. Or many, let me put it this way. There are many black Latinos. How about that? There are a bunch of black Latinos. In fact, there are more black Latinos than there are black Americans, by far. More black. I wouldn't doubt that there might be twice as many black Latinos as there are black Americans. It's just ridiculous, and they're taking advantage of that number in a political ploy. That's how I see it, because I'm a political scientist, and I mean, at least that was my education, and I understand, and my opinion is that you have voting blocks. So the Latino is a voting block, but many Latinos are biologically, there's no difference between them and black people. Puerto Ricans, man, I guarantee you, if you test Angel Garcia and Danny Garcia, you're going to hear a slot of sub-Saharan African right in their genes. They're going to have indigenous people, they're going to have some Spanish people, and they're going to have African. That's what they're going to be made up of, because they're Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico ain't no difference. You think they dropped off a bunch of black folk and a bunch of Native Americans, just left them alone over there? That was a slave colony too. Dominican Republic was a slave colony. Haiti was a slave colony. Cuba was a slave colony. That's how they were populated after they wiped off most of the people that were there to begin with. We all know this, but like I say, some people like to hide behind it because they got straighter hair and their skin is lighter. They don't have as much melanin, so they feel like they can be something different. You ain't nothing different, dog. You just a light skin. In my book, 90% of you are just light-skinned black folk that speak another language. There's a bunch of Africans that speak different languages too. That don't mean they ain't black. But that's my take, Exactly. Young Musa said blacks and Latinos are the same, 12 tribes of Israel. Absolutely they are. I understand that. But you have people that try to build rifts for their own political advancement. And I think that's what Teofimo Lopez did, personally, because he was coming up under a lot of criticism. Then all of a sudden there was a bunch of drama about blacks and Latinos beefing. I'm like, first of all, blacks and Latinos beefing with who? Who are blacks and Latinos beefing with? Both broke as a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck up out of here, dog. Anyway. Absolutely. And you got some blacks that ain't black. You got some Latinos that ain't black, and you got some blacks that ain't black. Can we give some of them motherfuckers back, please? Mikey. Who do I favor if Mikey somehow gets tanked? Mikey. Because Mikey ain't going to because he's too short for Mikey, man. He's too small for Mikey. Mikey's a legitimate 140 and probably the best 140-pounder in the world. Who I think that Mikey Garcia, who needs to be fighting Mikey Garcia, is Josh Taylor. But we know that's not going to happen because they're not going to feed Josh Taylor to Mikey Garcia. I think Mikey Garcia is the best. Hey, what would you identify with if you had a choice? You know what I'm saying? Well, I know who I would identify with, but come on, man. Who they identify with and who they are two entirely different things. Yeah, I identify as the ones that are gonna get all the dumb shit. Yeah, sure. Click white. Like, come on, man. Now you know how many people in Louisiana did that shit? Like, oh, I identify as white, and they know damn well that they black. All kind of actors and actresses that you think were white were black. Shit. Certain people like certain major rock and roll stars, certain major rock and roll stars that just happened to have a lot of rhythm at the time in the 1950s may just have been black. Wonder why they all had an issue with them like that. Man, they had an issue with Elvis Presley because a whole lot of them people thought Elvis Presley was black. That's because Elvis Presley looked like one of them passers. He said, we all white, better mortgage rates. Exactly. Okay. Am I white? What's the question about? Is it about my interest rates on my loans? Yeah, give me that one. Oh, you guys are on that. The living creator never gave it to you. I'm just trying to tell you. I ain't trying to hear none of that dumb shit. But anyway, back on Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez needs to do better business with he just needs to do better business, man. That's a hard situation he's putting himself in there, trying to be cute and trying to be slick. You know, if you are the reason that the fight didn't get put on and you pulled out of the fight and your partner incurred a bunch of expenses, yeah, he may have been. I don't know. My mother said he was. Mother said he said, ain't nothing black people can do for me but shine my shoes. That's what Elvis Presley was supposed to have said. But, you know, still don't keep you. Still don't keep you from having a little ink in your dye, you know? It's a vastly different culture pending which side of a continent. Mexican culture has very few Afro-Latinos, and Argentina as well. Not many African slaves. I'm telling you, Brazil, what about Brazil? And I wouldn't know, but I know Brazil's got a lot. And I know the Caribbean's got a lot. I know Belize has got a lot. But it is what it is. You know, people ain't going to claim they're black unless they are cold black and ain't got no choice. It's a hard situation to be in, you know. In the United States, you know, if it shows, that's what you are. Personally, I'm 100% cool with it. Oh, okay, I got you, Aborigines. Oh, they all got a lot, man. All up and down the place, man. First of all, Africans were here before Europeans got here. So the whole mixture of it is African. Seriously, like the whole mixture of it is. Because they came over here before anybody else got here. Somebody had to get over here first. Oh, unless you believe that human beings just spontaneously popped up everywhere at the same time. Could have, but I don't know. Big block. Okay, I'm going to get off this subject and get back to boxing in a second. Okay, that's not me. All right, I turned up the volume. Mikey don't want Taylor. That's why he's asking for Tank. Nah, well, he didn't ask for Tank either. People are asking him if he would be willing to fight him. And him saying that he's willing to fight him sounds reasonable to me. I think I would definitely take Tank. I would take Mikey Garcia over Tank because of the size disparity between the two guys. I mean, Gervonta Tank Davis is he's not a very tall guy. Short arms, smaller body. And I think Mikey Garcia should somewhere be around the same size as Mario Barrios. He's taller and he's longer. And I think that style will. Oh, Juan said Elvis Presley canceled shows and would not let his black backup singer play his shows. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on back that. The original Africans don't look like you, bruh. Are you what? You're not a real Egyptian. First of all, I would like to tell you that I can trace my lineage back to Egypt. So fuck off. What you talking about, dog? Okay? So, yes, I do look like one. That's where the people from Greece came from. Greece, Egypt to Greece. Populated it. All Africans, everybody started that shit off. Anyway, original Africans. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. Man, now that's the fight I want to see. Regis Prograis versus Mikey Garcia. Hey, give me a question. Put in your comment, what are your top 3 fights that you'd want to see? Give me something to say. Tell me your top 5 fights. If you're in the chat, type down your top 3 fights that you want to see in boxing. Darnell Parker said, thanks, Fannon. World migration patterns cannot be ignored. Absolutely not. And it all started from the Nile Valley. everybody migrated out of that because that's, from what we know, that's where the original people started from. And the cultures aren't different. Oh, okay. The top. So, okay. Jaron Ennis versus Errol Spence. I got Errol Spence in that, but that's a great fight. Oh, Kamal Oz said modern Egyptians are Arabs from Saudi Arabia. The modern ones, yeah, but they're not the southern ones that are Kush. Rigo versus... That fight right there. I'm happy to see that I get to see Rigo fight Casemiro, but that little dude is my favorite. I think on the real, Rigondeaux is my favorite fighter, man. He's Latino, by the way. So let me do like, you know how they when you call a white person racist, they'll talk about their black friend. My Rigo, I call that my Rigo because Rigo is my fighter. That is my favorite fighter to watch. And I am so sick and was so pissed off that people prevented Guillermo Rigondeaux from getting his shine and fighting these guys. Leo Santa Cruz ducked him. Abner Mares ducked him. Lee Selby ducked him. Man, it's just ridiculous. Carl Frampton ducked him. And man gets knocked out by who? Man, Monster Inoue doesn't suck. Monster Inoue is a domestic, I'm telling you, that is a domestic level fighter that got his ass beat up by Nonito Donaire. If Nonito Donaire was Donito Donaire of 10 years before that, Monster Inoue would have got his ass knocked out cold. You guys blow up these domestic fighters, and because who do you fight at 115 pounds? There ain't nobody out there. Like, yeah, if you do pay attention to 115-pound fights, you're going to know who they fought because they're like one of the very rare fighters that fight at that size. What grown-ass man can walk around at 115 pounds, man? Little itty-bitty knees, you can put them in your pocket. Fuck out of here with that shit. Man, Monster Inoue is the most overrated fighter in all of boxing. Easy. Overrated. Exactly. They came from Egypt. Most overrated fighter in all of boxing is Monster Inoue. No way does he deserve that type of stuff that they give that dude. Somebody said Wilder Fury. Oh, this is a good one. Canelo Benavidez, yeah, that's nice. Teofimo Haney, that's nice. Jaron or Spence versus Crawford. Man, it's got to be Spence versus Crawford. Jaron Ennis, I want to see Jaron Ennis fight Virgil Ortiz. I don't want to see, like, that's mine is Errol Spence Jr. is honestly my three top fights. Well, three of them. Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. Jermall Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez. And I definitely want to see Rigondeaux versus Monster Inoue. He's got to get past Casemiro, though. And you know Casemiro is going to be juiced to the gills. How do you say that name? Mr. Brown said Mikey is only 5'6" with an inch arm reach over Tank. They don't look that big to me. They don't look that size difference to me. How tall is it? Yeah, but what is Gervonta? 5'4"? Like 5? What's he like? 5'4"? Let me see how tall. I believe it. Maybe they're not that big a size advantage, but I'll still give the advantage to Mikey Garcia because Mikey Garcia is going to keep him at bay with that jab. That's what I see. Cy Gray. Jermall versus Andrade. Damn, that's interesting. Wilder Fury. Yeah, Wilder Joshua. That's who I want to see. I want to see Wilder Joshua. Jermell Charlo versus Crawford. You trying to get Jermell. That'd be a really good fight. You trying to get Crawford hurt, though. Because Crawford's going to let his hands go, and he's going to get clipped. I don't know what you meant, what that is. But I ain't lying. I'm giving you my honest opinions. I said, I have a feeling Tank wins a fight, but it's 50-50 on paper. Now, I can see why. If their size difference is closer than what I thought, then yeah. I just envision, because of the size difference with Mario Barrios and Tank. Tank looked little in there, man. But he's at a size disadvantage. But, you know, I could be wrong for sure, because Tank can fight his ass off. Without a doubt, he can fight his ass off. Somebody like Ricky Thompson said Boost versus Bud. Yeah. How's he going to move to 160, though? Don't go to 160 yet. I want to see you do something at 147. But maybe he's just going to do it so he doesn't have to he can just come in at his walk-around weight or something. And he's young enough to probably come back down. My man Keith James said Tank versus Mikey is 50-50. That's fair. Jay Leo said Tank is 5'5" with boots on. Yeah, I mean, like, he kind of strikes me like he might be really walking around at about 5'4". He's a little dude, man. Like, he's got a little girlfriend, and he's shorter than his little girlfriend. So, you know, that's a good fight. Ortiz Porter, I didn't think about that. Mikey wants to be at 147. He wants that fifth division. It also a bigger money division, probably correct. It is. Feels that he hangs out until Arrow moves up, then he can snap a belt. You should be able to, because honestly, he's only lost to Arrow, right? And he beat Jesse Vargas, and Jesse Vargas is almost skilled enough to get his hands on a belt. But he's going to have to fight Jaron Ennis for that belt. So, because I think Jaron is, he's ranked in the WBA. I just think Jaron Ennis is a special fighter, man. Period. So this is a fight. Yeah, they list him at 5'5". Fannon, are you getting vaccinated? I am already vaccinated, man. I had to get my vaccination because my wife ain't throwing me out the house, dog. So I had to. She has to do. Yeah, pretty much my wife bullied me into it. So I went on ahead and did it. And I'm vaccinated. Didn't hurt me. So, you know, it is what it is. Other than to stick me with a needle. Oh, somebody got booted. Yeah. Hey, but look, man, I'm going to run up out of here. I just want to say thank you, but we'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the show tomorrow. Thank you so much for the support in the super chat. Thank you so much for the support in the chat. And we'll be back tomorrow. And with that, I'm out. Peace.